Good morning, weirdos. Well, what a day. Happy Tuesday, everyone. It's February the 13th, 2024. It's a Tuesday, and I'm exhausted. I spent most of the evening editing video for my upcoming series. Well, what have you all been up to? I am happily drinking tea this morning again. Before coffee. Tea before coffee. Why both? Because tea is good for the belly, the brain, the body. My little capsules here are a little too warm next to my tea. It's starting to melt. Vitamins. Good old vitamins. Well, no, the camera did not freeze. I did. Check. Tea. That's good stuff. So, I'm having tea mainly because I have a bad habit of drinking coffee and then not putting anything else in my system until like lunchtime, 1 or 2 o'clock. That's no bueno, dude. It's like totally no bueno, you know? Bad for the system. Good stuff. And then as soon as I'm done with the tea and my cereal bar here, moving right into coffee. Gotta do that coffee. I got to. I got to. It's my thing, right? So somebody commented on one of my videos about my videos. That my place is cluttered and I need to clean up. Yeah, like it's like that every day. It gets cluttered up. Like over here, see, this is my dog bed next to the heater. That stays there in case there's a dog that wants to come and lay down next to me. There's pretty much nothing on that end of the room. And, for the most part, what you see is pretty much what's in this room. This is my cluttered little corner here where I keep most of my going on. I scooch a little bit closer to the monitor while I'm doing video editing. Old eyes and whatnot. Wow, I mean, I literally spent before dinner, right? I started on video before dinner, worked on it a couple of hours before 5 or 6 o'clock, took a little break, watched a little TV, ate some dinner, and then went right back to it. And I was at it until midnight. So, yeah, for the better part of an evening. It's a lot of fun. I forgot how much fun it is to sit and edit video for hours and hours and hours. Not as much fun editing myself. I would prefer to be editing somebody else. Having to sit and look at myself and listen to myself that much, it can get a little tedious and a little depressing. Hi, someone's watching. Leave a comment. Let me know who you are. Say, hi, dude. What's up? What's going on, man? What's up? I'm just sitting here drinking my tea, eating my cereal bar, getting ready to start wrestling with the world. Do you guys have any favorite breakfast foods in the morning? Cereal, donuts, whatever. Me, no. My favorite used to be like a breakfast jack, right? Just a really simple plain egg sandwich. Yeah. Otherwise, when I was in junior high, I used to like to eat one of those apple pies, the Hostess apple pies. Yeah, I used to love to do one of those and a milk. That was my junior high school breakfast. Now, by the time I left high school, I was probably on to something a little more heavy for breakfast. I don't recall what I used to eat for breakfast when I was a late teenager, latent, more like latent. Yeah, so somebody crept in, peeked in through my window here and saw that I was a crazy old guy and then left. So thanks for stopping by anyway. So I'm busy promoting my show, my channel, and people think that I'm trying to promote myself. I mean, my channel is me. I am my channel. I'm not promoting a business or a way of life. I mean, I'm not even selling anything. Right? I'm just hanging out with y'all. At some point, some of these shows I'll give shit away, but I'm not selling anything. I'm gonna open up my curtain here so we can see the sun coming up. Up to one. There we go. Oh, yeah. So, what do we do in the mornings? We recuperate. We recover from having made it through another day. And what does that entail? Well, the tea and the cereal bar, they kind of help my stomach recoup. As does the cereal bar. Yeah. I do things in the morning that make me feel human again. Since waking up is like passing through the gateway into my pain realm. Um, so by the time we're 20 or 30 minutes into the show, or sooner, my pain level goes from 0 to fucking 60. It just takes off. While I'm asleep, if I'm in a really good sleeping, mentally, physically, I can detach myself from the pain enough to go to sleep. And then if I wake up in the middle of the night, if I can get back to sleep relatively quick, I can avoid meeting back with that pain head on. But once I wake up, once I'm up milling around, once I start drinking, my body starts waking up and the pain says, hello, how are you? Remember me? My cup this morning. Can you see my cup this morning? That's where I went 10 or 12 years ago, and that's where my daughter is going now. My daughter is in college. She's rocking it. Proud of her. She probably just went to sleep. She's always up doing homework late. Oh, yeah. Now, me, I didn't do home till I got into college. Everything before my 12th grade year, I didn't give a shit about. Of course, once I got to my 12th grade year, I really, really wanted to graduate. And so I started doing night classes. And then eventually just going to get my GED a few years after I graduated. But I wanted it, I had been homeless through most of my teen years. From my first year of high school on. Just could not get along at home, or couldn't get along with anybody at home, in the world, friends, school. It was horrible. But I got through it. I guess eventually, once I get my acts together here, I'll probably put a monitor over here so I can be with my camera. Hi. One. Checking my microphone again. I left battery on yesterday. So, make sure I don't go dead silent here. I imagine that at some point today or tomorrow, I'm going to have to change the batteries on my mixer. If anybody out there's got a 6-volt power supply for one of those old realistic DJ mixer things, let me know. If you do have something like that, shoot me a message and I'll send you the part number and see if we match up. Well, it's just about coffee time. I'm almost ready for coffee. And Bong Hits. Yeah. So let's see. What am I doing today? Well, there's no work on the plate. So it looks like I am probably in for a nap and then back into more video editing until I get this video done. I'm going to have to come up with some music, which means I'll be sitting here recording some guitar or something, unless I get someone that's going to stop by and help me out. Help me with some music, you know. Copyright-free music. Now that was something that I looked into back in the early 2000s, was royalty-free music, stuff that you could put on anything, you know, videos, commercials, pornographic movies, you know, just royalty-free music. Somebody sits there for hours and hours and hours and just records weird crap. Oh, wait, I know what that's like. I guess we're not going to need a huge cup of coffee this morning. Let's see. I had tea yesterday morning and about a half a cup. I didn't quite get through the whole cup. The missus woke up and made some breakfast. After that, I passed out. I passed out hard and long, just like I suspected. I needed to do that makeup sleep, pay into my sleep debt, and I paid into it yesterday. I did. I slept most of the day after the show. Yeah. In fact, I don't think I ate breakfast yesterday. I think it was the day before I'm thinking of. I think yesterday I just crawled right back into bed and didn't get up until dinner, which was the last of the glorious enchiladas that we made the other night. And oh man, I'm telling you, when we get together and we make a meal, it's one thing when she does it, and it's one thing when I do it. But when we both do it together, it seems to just be perfect, better than perfect. Yeah, Sunday I did the. Is it Sunday, Saturday, or Sunday? I don't remember. One of those nights, the other night when we made enchiladas, I spent hours making the meat. My wife got it chopped up and started, and we've done the meat before several times, and I do it very similar fashion for various different meals. I like to saute the meat really, really good with a lot of flavor before I add it to whatever beef stroganoff, beef stew, chili, whatever. Um, I like to get that meat so that it's just falling apart, melts like butter in your mouth. Really, um, that's my favorite way to eat pretty much any kind of beef. You know, is to just kind of saute it in its own juices and onions and mushrooms and oh my goodness, it's making me hungry. Mm-mm-mm. So I'm going to say that it's time to get some coffee because yeah, I've been awake for about an hour and my stomach is healed. So let's get some coffee. Woo! All right. Well, anyway, I got my coffee. I just wanted to show you my other Eeyore cup here because I am also optimistically pessimistic, or pessimistically pessimistic. Oh, whatever Eeyore is, I'm probably that. So we don't need too much tea in the morning, you know. Not that I need much coffee either, but yeah. My pretty little foot. See my pretty little foot? My pretty little foot. All right, let's do a little bit of this coffee here. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. That is good stuff. I think she changed the coffee this morning. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. We like the old post-nasal drip here in the morning. There's something very attractive. So before the show got started this morning, I was poking around on YouTube, my favorite place to hang out. As you can tell. Hi. And let's see. Yeah, it was. There's a character on YouTube by the name of Michael Lucid, and I just started watching his 1994 high school made documentary on a clique of girls who go by the name Dirty Girls, right? So I only got to watch a few minutes before I had to clock in here, but that's a real time adventure there. I will post the link in my comments here, and then if you get a chance, stop on by, and I'm going to pop into my show here and leave a comment. Okay, there it is. It's a surprise. So there's a surprise link in the comments here. If you find it, post in the chat just the phrase "dirty girls," and then I'll know that you watched it. Okay. And if you type into the comments "dirty girls," then who knows? I might send you something, because I got lots of weird shit to get rid of here. I could send you a BAM magazine from 1983, right? How about that? You want a BAM magazine? Oh, yeah. I got a lot of crap here that I could send you a record. I could send you a tape. I could send you an 8-track. Oh. No, people, I'm not like doing cocaine again, okay? It's been like 35 years at least. At least 35 years since I've done any cocaine. Good old cocaine. Anybody ever done cocaine out there? I remember doing cocaine back in the 80s. I think the 80s, maybe 90 or 91 was probably the last time that I did cocaine. That's probably the last time that I did any kind of hard drug like cocaine or speed or anything like that. Now, I've had the opportunity to do cocaine as far back as 20 years. In Mammoth, helping a friend move. And it was the end of the moving. Everything was moved and packed, and it was time to hang out and party. And he busted out the marijuana and the booze and some cocaine, right? And he's like, dude, you want some cocaine? And I'm like, yeah, but I'm not going to do any because it might kill me. And this is before fentanyl was a big killer. Before they started putting fentanyl in everything to increase the buzz or whatever. I don't know what the fuck the deal with fentanyl is. But it was really, really good looking stuff. So good that my friend who was there had to get some. He had to get some. And had I been still doing it back then, I probably would have done it too. I probably would have nabbed myself a couple of grams or an 8-ball or something. And then, party. Woo, 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 woo. But I can't do that shit anymore. Not because I'm an old married dad, but those are determining factors in the why I don't do that shit. But it's scary. It really is. Nowadays, you can't trust any drugs. Not even old marijuana anymore. You can't trust that it's not going to have something in it that's going to react like poison in your body. There's heavy duty chemical fertilizers or pesticides or whatever. They'll get you coming and going nowadays. Would I want to do cocaine again? Sure, why not? I would love it. If I could, I would, but I can't, so I shan't. Right? Coffee's my new cocaine. Cocaine's better than caffeine. And what's in cocaine? I mean, I know that it comes from the cocoa leaves, but what is I know THC is what I like about marijuana, right? THC, terpenes, that kind of shit. What is it about cocaine that makes it so appealing? Not addictive, but appealing. Now, when I was back in the 80s, when I was doing cocaine, I liked the white, shiny, pearl-like, flaky chunks of cocaine. And the taste. I really loved the taste of cocaine. When you snort it, it goes back down the back of your throat, and then you're gagging up on on the drips going down the back. Cocaine. Good old cocaine days. Now, there are actually people out there still doing cocaine. A friend of mine recently passed away, and it is suspected that fentanyl-laced cocaine had something to do with it. That's fucked up, Sit down to chill out and have a good time, and then all of a sudden you're seasoned and wheezing, and it's over. That's fucked up, yeah. Well, so talking about the evils of cocaine as I hit on my Mary Jane. That's some good stuff. That stuff bites you right in the poo-poo. It's called Paris OG from Hotbox. That's cannabis flower. And this is an indica, morning time, so indica in the mornings. Less for my head, more for my body. Would I do cocaine ever again? That's a tough call. That's like asking me, would I ever smoke a cigarette again? I haven't smoked a cigarette in 11 or 12 years. Would I? Ask me that right before I smoke one. Right? I haven't had any reason to smoke a cigarette that I couldn't fix by smoking some pot. Right? Same thing with booze. There's nothing that's going on that that I need to use alcohol for that pot wouldn't deal with. Tobacco and alcohol cause more problems than they help to alleviate, right? Cigarettes, smoking, the coughing, the wheezing, the choking, the feeling sticky all the time, right? And then with booze, it's okay at first, and then afterwards comes the stomach and the head and the hangover, and it's just, what's the point? I don't get that smoking marijuana. I get a little bit of coughing, but it doesn't make me feel all icky and gooey like tobacco does. I can get a far cleaner buzz out of marijuana than I can alcohol or pills. And it doesn't give me any bummer side effects. I don't get like a marijuana hangover, right? Anybody get like a marijuana hangover? I'm sure I have felt a little off after smoking way too much weed the next day, right? You feel like, oh man, can't wake up. Is that a bad thing? No, it's not a headache thing like booze or any other kind of drugs would be. I think the last time I took mushrooms to actually get a strong buzz had to have been the Renaissance Fair in the late 90s, right? I've done mushrooms within the last few years, but it was only micro dosing. I wasn't doing it to get a buzz. I was just doing it to train my brain, and it worked. I did microdosing 2 days a week for about 2.5 months, and I only did the tiniest little. I mean, you can't even feel it, the amount that I was doing. Right? I think the only thing that it did to me was made me feel relaxed, and that was the only thing that it did to me. And I wouldn't let it do anything. Like I said, I wasn't doing microdosing mushrooms to get buzz. I was doing it to retrain my brain to deal with stress and anger and harsh emotions and deal with that shit better. And it worked. I mean, you spend a couple of days a week just putting yourself in that happy place, right? And using mushrooms to bring you there and to focus there and to make your memory, make your mind remember, make your emotions remember where you want to be when the shit hits the fan. And I still blow off steam, and I still get pissed and yell and scream and stuff, but it doesn't completely take me over, right? I mean, I'm allowed to have emotions, right? And that's one of the things that I make sure to do is to express those emotions right when I have them. If I'm happy, I laugh. If I'm sad, I cry. If I'm pissed off at something, I'm going to scream and yell, right? but I'm not going to spend the rest of the day feeling like that. I'm not going to go to sleep pissed off. I'm not going to, I'm probably not going to go into the next 5 minutes carrying those same emotions, because I've trained myself to just get rid of them, dismiss them, have them, be in the moment, and then be done with it. When you hang on to that shit and you drag it around with you, or you don't let it out, then, then you start thinking about, eating a bullet or something. I mean, it's just let it out. Have those emotions. Don't take it out on anyone. Don't scream and yell at someone. I mean, I make a conscious effort not to direct my anger and frustration at someone, because it's my anger and frustration, right? So it shouldn't affect anyone else. It should affect me, and only as for as short a time as possible, right? Don't drag that shit around with you. Have it, live it, be done with it. Just move on. And it took me literally decades, most of my life, to get to the point to where I could not feel like like I have to have all of this emotional baggage, as a part of who I am. What a waste of energy. What a waste of time. What a waste of just being, right? What a waste of life. It's so pointless to be controlled by your emotions, especially when your emotions are sometimes created by other people in you, right? And they don't even know they're doing it. They piss you off, they frustrate you, they do all of these things, and they're just going about their lives, and they don't realize they're doing something to piss you off, and you can't really tell that person, because when you do, you're an asshole. So you just learn how to suck it in and hold on to it. I got tired of that. So I just have an emotion. If somebody bugs me, as polite as possible, I let them know, hey, you're fucking with me. Well, fuck with me. And then I let it go. And then I'm all smiles and warm, fuzzy hugs again. But I can do that now. Couldn't do it before. Which is why I spent so much time in mental and emotional pain and misery, right? We create that shit for ourselves. I'd let go of a lot of people in my life because they would manifest this creature inside of me that I did not like. Family and close friends. I just had to part ways, for the most part, because they required so much of my emotion, right? And that's and they didn't know that. They didn't know, what kind of person I was, of course, because they never think to actually communicate. So most of it was on me, right? And that's where you go run around the world and you just keep blaming everyone else because they're this catalyst for your fucked up emotions, when ultimately the fucked up emotions are your own fucking problem, right? So you just keep playing the blame game, until you figure out that it doesn't matter how much they do to create this devil that pops up inside of you and wants to pound everything in sight. It doesn't matter what they did, because ultimately you are the sole, proprietor. You're in control. You're either going to flip out or you're going to keep your shit together. I used to flip out a lot. A lot. I used to flip out at home, at work, when I was partying. Something would happen to trigger that devil inside, and I would just snap, man. Just I would literally see red and just want to strangle and choke and mutilate and destroy. And that's a bummer, because I never saw myself as a violent person. I never saw myself as an evil person. Sure, I've done stupid things that have harmed other people, sometimes intentionally, but never with malice in my heart. It's not like I'm going to go out and I'm going to do these bad things. I just, every once in a while, you find yourself doing something bad, and it's like, oh shit, what did I do this for? Dummy, don't do that anymore. And I did since I was a little kid, and mainly I learned my lessons from watching other people screw up and get in trouble and think, I don't want to get in trouble like that. I don't want to be that guy getting screamed at. Hell no. So that saved me a lot of, trouble. But then when you're kind of a loner and you don't, so yeah, even, from the time I was a little kid all up until I was, in my 20s and 30s, right? I was still much of a loner whose emotions were controlled by other people, right? That's pretty fucked up. It's pretty fucked up, man. It's just some fucked up shit. But stick around. You'll learn more about who I am and why I am who I am, and the lessons that taught me to be who I am from an early age. My memories, my earliest memories go back to 1972. Okay, I was born in '68, and my earliest memories go back. My earliest memory is in 1970, but my earliest memories kind of started forming, pardon me, in about 1972. Pardon me. And it was an unusual time in the world, not to mention an unusual time and place to grow up or to start forming those memories. I was born and raised in Southern California, and learned my earliest lessons in Sierra Madre Canyon, near Pasadena. And the first faces I remember in my life were hippies, counterculture. They were the weirdos, the people that were really, really different. They dressed different, they looked different, they acted different, they talked different, they used unusual words and slang. They acted really, really weird because most of them were on drugs. I grew up in a drug hippie counterculture lifestyle, on the run, on the road, constantly moving around, constantly making deals to get by. And I spent, 10 years of my life knowing that hippie counterculture, nude beaches, block parties where, some people, you know, are nude and some people are unconscious, and sometimes they're one and the same. Um, I remember, the first 10 years of memories um, are really, really strange. My father attending college at Pasadena City College, and then the University um, California in San Diego during that 10 years, and being virtually homeless most of that time, on the road most of that time, traveling around Southern California and as far east as South Dakota and Nebraska. Um, so I had a really challenging first 10 years of memories, to say the least. I mean, it was. There's a short documentary um, of those early years um, on my channel. Um, Hi, they call me Mike, because they called me Mike back then. Um, they called me Mike until the 90s, when I finally settled on Michael and demanded that people would call me Michael. If they called me Mike, I would ignore them or let them know that that's not my name. And to this day, I was at the bar the other night giving somebody my information, and I looked down and noticed he had written Mike, and I asked, "Who's Mike?" Sarcastically, and had to put him at ease real quick. I'm not picking on you. I prefer to be called Michael. Um, and But yeah, if you check that documentary out, and then you know a little bit more about me in my early years. And if you're watching along on occasion here, you'll learn a little bit more about me, and then we can learn a little bit about you and find out, what we have in common. You'll have enough information that you can, you know, start getting some back and forth with me. Um, yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff. So, I would hope that now they call me Michael. They call me Bruce. Um, yeah, totally. I can feel my neck again, and I don't like to feel my neck. I'm waking up, and parts of my body are starting to hurt more than they should. Oh, I know. It was that sitting there editing video all day yesterday. That can't be good on the back and neck. Hmm. So I kind of like the closer camera angle. You get to have a better view of my shirts now. Um, I sure love my shirts. This is one of my favorites, Underdog. Um, does, does anyone remember Underdog? I'll maybe put together some little sound bites to stick in some of the videos. I've really had this itch lately to get up and get on the computer more and do some more creating. Um, my computer is old and slow, and it becomes a little tedious when saving and uploading stuff. Even though I've got it Ethernet cord plugged directly into my modem, so that I can, get as much speed out of it as possible. But still, it's an old computer, so I really need to upgrade. I need to get my daughter's older Apple Acer, you know, um, specials. What did I get? I think I got that one from you call it, one of those TV stores, QVC. That's where I think I got that one at QVC. I think I got like 3 computers through QVC over the years because they're decent computers. They're, you know, for the time that you get it, it's a decent computer, fast, and it's a great price, and I can make payments, and the payments aren't real huge. So there's, you know, a whole slew of bonuses. It's a win-win for me, especially when, you know, I was dealing with the whole back and neck injury and not working a lot, and then going to college, and then doing the art thing, and then back into doing the handyman thing, never really bringing in a whole lot of cash. So I like to keep the bills low. If you keep everything on the low down, then you don't have to deal with credit. You don't have to deal with credit cards. You don't have to deal with payment type crap. Only save that for the really, really important things, and then put as much as you can into it from the get-go, so your payments are minimal. There's a lesson for you, kids. Stay away from credit. Just save your money and buy what you need outright. Okay? And you don't always need to buy the new, the best of the best of the best. You know, if you're just starting with anything, to get something used, check it out. Make sure whatever you're getting into is for you, whether it's a car or, you know, you don't have to get the best computer if you're not going to use a computer all the time. Get a little computer, get something inexpensive, and then work up to something, you know, hefty if that's what you want to sink your money into. Yeah. So right above my lamp, I've got this succulent plant that we brought in for the winter, and it was really kind of stringy, and it's got these, you know, the fat succulent plant leaves, and they weren't really fat, and since it's been kind of dangling over my light here, it has really started to get really fat, you know. I had one on the other side away from the light, and the leaves just all fell off. It just withered away. You know, had I known then that it was this light here, I would have put it closer. Because if you learn, what a bummer. I gotta warm up this coffee. You know, who else likes to have piping hot coffee? Me. All right, let's nuke it. Well, okay. Yeah, gotta have that coffee just scorching, you know. Oh, give it a little mix here. Oh yeah. So, who else has just coffee in the morning. Well, it's not just coffee. I mean, I have a little oat cereal bar. Nothing real heavy, you know. But you know, I'm not a morning eater. Maybe it's the coffee, and maybe not. I've never really been, you know. I think the most I used to eat in the mornings before school, swipe some weed from my parents, and then sell a little bit to get some food. You know, look, it's 6 a.m. February 13th. Wow. Oh, here it is. Here's my calendar. So let's check the old calendar and see what's been going on. I'm sure that, yep, in 2 weeks from today, we're going to a concert, and I believe it is Mitch Rowland out here at Pappy and Harriet. Yeah, I believe that's what we're going to, and he's got a special guest, Harris Harper, who is Ben Harper's daughter. Ben Harper, slide blues guitar player, most known for the Innocent Criminals group, which I, you know, had been out of music for decades. So I was completely unaware of the Innocent Criminals, and unaware of anything that was going on in music, really. I mean, once we got to like the mid 90s and it was just all grunge and weird and crazy, and you know, rock and roll had gone astray. I just kind of just drifted off, listened to a lot of bootleg Grateful Dead, and listened to a lot of Air, you know, a lot of silence. Would drive around in my car. I drove around in my car for years with the radio off, you know, or AM radio on or some shit. Or my favorite was to just listen to old time radio shows. And that is what we're doing tomorrow. So be sure to stop by tomorrow, because the first part of the show, we're going to listen to an old time radio show. I haven't picked anything out yet, but I've got loads to choose from. So we'll see what's going on there. I've been thinking on putting together a theme for my show and an intro video. Unfortunately, technologically, I can't really do an intro and then fade to me, hello, good morning kind of thing. I'm a technological sap, so I could actually put something together on cassette or reel to reel and then just play it for you through my mixer and into the computer. And that's about as close as I can get now. As you see, when you start the show, you've got my little black and white print out dangling in front. Because I'm so old school and low tech that I just had to MacGyver something to kind of start my show, because I wanted to do something different. So maybe by season 3, we'll be doing some split screen stuff or some dual camera action, or piping in some alternative video stuff, right? That would be way cool. I'm not as concerned about that right now as I a day